Hello, and welcome to Season 2 of Dentistry Support The Podcast with your host, the kind-hearted and infectious Sarah Beth Herman. We're back for a new season and ready to pack a punch. In every episode, we'll be sharing you quick, impactful insights into the challenges our dental community and leaders in all industries face. Expect a little bit of flair, a few laughs, and you might even recognize a friend or two. Because of you, we are the #1 podcast in dentistry and #1 in management and business. And we couldn't be more excited to keep bringing you practical wisdom and leadership with a servant's heart. All delivered in just enough time for your commute or morning team huddle. We're glad you're here, so let's get into it. Please welcome your host, Sarah Beth.
Welcome back to Dentistry Support The Podcast. I'm Sarah Beth Herman, your host for this episode. Today is all about branding, mentoring, and what you need to know that you probably haven't thought of. I have a guest here today, Tara Dunn. She is a branding photographer out of Clean Creek, Arizona, and the absolute best. Welcome, Tara.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You might be thinking as a leader, or as a business owner, how do I run a business, market a business? How do I let everybody on the outside know exactly who I am? There's a lot of different modalities. There's social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, your website, printed document, the things that you actually let the other people see. How do you figure out what you don't know and then put it all into action and make all of that make sense? Tara Dunn helped me learn a lot about what I want the outside world to know about who I am. My businesses are all exclusively online. I have no brick and mortar. The only way that I get someone to learn about me is through what they see online, how they see me in a photo, how they read what I write. Tara, can you just give us a little bit of intro as to what your company is and maybe how you got started or why you got started?
Absolutely. I've been doing branding photography for about the last 5 years, but I've been a photographer for 12. As a business, figure out where your expertise lands. That was with the small business owners and entrepreneurs for me. I have been able to create imagery and video clips that a business needs to create their online presence to be a reflection of them, their values, and what they're doing as a whole company. I've transformed that into an entire experience of self-confidence, self-worth, and getting in that mindset of sharing who you are and not being afraid to.
One of the things I hear often from small businesses and clients that I've talked to over the years is they just don't know how to get the business that they want, or they look at another business online and that business has so much more business than they have, right? They compare themselves. When you think about when you first started your company, did you realize at some point there needed to be more than just your own knowledge to get you where you wanted to be?
Absolutely. Thankfully, I started with a mentor that literally had me helping them carry their camera bag. I started from the very beginning, to learn and foster that love of learning for my business. So as I became a photographer, my very first mentor said, okay, can you hold the camera? Why don't you take a few photos? And we developed my skills from there. Now going into branding, I had a mindset coach and mentors along the way. I have been in this mindset of knowing that I can't do it alone. Many people really try to do every single thing, but none of us are good at every single thing.
Right.
We cannot do 100% of everything at all times. We can be a jack of all trades and do a lot of things, but where you're finding your expertise and what you're really good at and honing in on that and asking for help with the rest. Like finding a mentor, finding someone who really can help you exercise what you know and find other people to join in on the journey and love your company as much as you do.
One of the things for me, starting early in business, I knew exactly what I wanted my business to be. People use this term of stop waiting. If you're scared of doing it, just go for it. Just go do it. But I think as a new entrepreneur, the problem is we have all these really great ideas and they're all stored in our brain. And we just think about throwing them up. Let me just get them out there and get someone to start buying from me so I can generate revenue, right? But then we make mistakes along the way because we didn't actually deliver that the way it could have been delivered to its best ability, right? I've always had a hard time thinking about getting a mentor because I never knew if they would be in alignment with me. If I start talking to someone and I invest this money, am I actually going to get someone who's on the same page as me, or are they going to try to change my business or steal my business? What's going to happen here? It's just a naturally scary thing. But one thing I've learned about you, Tara, is you have mentors in your same industry, right? And I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of turn even mentioning this, but it's not a threat for some reason. Can you talk to me about that? What made you think I should be having other people that are going after the same client mentor me?
Yeah.
Like, how did you get there?
I've learned from reading from podcasts and honing in on what I am good at and my expertise to find people I can grow skills with. My one-on-one mentor right now is a branding photographer. She's based out of San Diego. We literally have the same clientele. She is probably double to triple the revenue that I am generating right now. I would love to be at her point. I know that I will one day. I'm learning from her, finding ways that work for me. She says, if this serves you and your clientele, then use it. If not, let's find a different way that will work for you. I just am so grateful somebody is workshopping with me.
Yeah.
Then I can in turn serve my clients whom I am mentoring and coaching to find what works for them, because there's not a formula that is the same for everyone. There are enough people and businesses and entrepreneurs, let alone in Queen Creek, Gilbert, Arizona, and around the globe. If there's a million photographers, we all can't serve every single
person. In my business, there are 400,000 dentists in the United States.
Yeah.
Some people will say, what do you think about this company that compares to this company that you run? I always say, I'm not here to talk bad about them because I think they serve a really great purpose here. We don't have to go down that rabbit hole of every competitor is bad. When you're raising children, they always say things like, it takes a village. I think when you're building a business, it takes a village.
Agreed.
So
Absolutely.
you don't go into parenting and like, oh, you know what, let me go find a teenager to help me learn to parent. You go find another mom, right? Another mom that maybe have older kids that might know something to do differently. I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned from you is you can stay in your industry and find a mentor because they're going to be the expert, right? So, Tara, you also have taught me, one of the things you've taught me is always be looking for an opportunity to connect with someone, right? Tara and I met at a local coffee shop. I was there with my sister and we were having a marketing meeting, literally about the fact that we needed to do branding photography and all these different marketing things that we needed to get done. It was the birthday of the shop owner. Went there because she was having a special on lattes and different things. We were like, we love her. Let's go. I went in, we were sitting there talking and you walk with a camera. I was like, oh my gosh, they're taking pictures of her. This is so cute. You just drummed up a conversation with us. And you offered to take pictures or a video of us. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so adorable. You're like, let me just get a little bit of B-roll. And you did. You sent it to me and it started this great friendship. And I hired you to do branding photography for us. And now we have another shoot with one of my other business partners and just all the different things that are growing from that relationship. You taught me to not be afraid of that. You were instrumental in me thinking every moment is an opportunity you can grow. Talk to you about getting there because that takes a skill in itself to have the confidence in what you do every day to just drum it up wherever you go.
Oh, absolutely. That has taken time and practice. Yeah. In order to be good at something, you need to practice. And I treat it in that way. I was there for a marketing event and I was standing with my friend and I said, I'm going to go up to them. She said, oh, do you know them? I said, no, I have no clue who they are, but I'm going to. So I went up and to get to that moment, I feel like it's taken me years. I've had a mindset coach. I've had somebody who said, you're a great connector. Why don't you keep talking to people? That has really given me the confidence to do so. I'd love to contribute in any way that I can. It's not just about the paycheck or the dollar signs for me. I really want to connect with people and show that I'm a human. Let's find a way that we can work together, whatever that may be. And if we didn't continue from there, it was great to meet you. There have been so many moments in my life where I was in the shadows or I retreated back because I wasn't sure if I should do something or if I'm good enough to do something or if I will do it right. I've retrained my brain and fixed those neural pathways of saying, if I'm not good enough to, you won't know unless you try. That has really been what drives me each day.
I love it.
You are not the first person that I've done that to. It won't be the last.
Tara, have you ever been, or can you recall ever being in a situation where you made a mistake or you were making a mistake in the growth or trajectory of your business and choosing to have a mentor transformed what the outcome of that actually ended up being?
Oh, for sure. 2 years ago, I was in a position where I was just feeling stuck and business was a bit stagnant. I had an opportunity to join a group coaching program. And it was a stretch financially, time commitment, all of the above. We were just about to move into our home and we were unsure. And I had a few friends that really encouraged me to move forward. And it was a group of all branding photographers. There was 12 of us that were going to be in this mastermind. I thought, what would be the negative to come out of this? I couldn't think of anything. I just worked it out with my husband and I said, that payment, I promise I will make at least that much. And it just continued to double. I made it that first month and then double, all the way up to now
where you're at.
Have been going really well. That commitment and faith in myself helped turn that around. I feel like anytime we're wanting to grow or change something, we have to hold on to the faith that something great will come of it. You win some, you lose some, you figure it out. Sometimes you don't, but there are lessons to be learned all along the way. And
totally.
Taking that leap of faith for me really changed the trajectory from then on out. Do I have bad days? Of course. Are there times where it's a difficult client or difficult situation or I have made a mistake? Absolutely. That growth mindset of really taking what I did and what I've learned from it to change that the next time and not be so hard on myself.
Everything is a risk, but when you think about mentorship and what value that brings to your life, the investment in yourself, just knowing that you believed in yourself enough that you're going to spend the money to do it. You know, Tara, when you're going to select someone that's going to mentor you, if you were to give anybody some advice on how to find a mentor, if I am in a niche industry and I don't know anybody in my industry that's mentoring, where could I look to find someone? What's the first thing you should focus on?
I would say, as you're talking about this, before even finding a mentor or even beginning to look for one, you need to find it within yourself. Are you ready to take the action needed to grow? Because if you are feeling uneasy about something or you're a little afraid, that's okay because we can get you there and taking action is part of the process. But if you're feeling hesitant or that you feel like you know everything and no one else can help you with that, it's a fine line between your mindset shift and choosing who you're going to work with. I would say that on social media, search and see the type of values that you want in somebody. There's usually a call that you can schedule. That is so important before making any decisions to make sure that you know what you are getting. So many different mentors, coaches have master classes just to see, again, if you vibe, if you connect in any way with those people.
Understand if you're not wanting to get a mentor, I think that means you have a control problem. I think the control problem is I know what's best for me. I know what needs to get done. And anybody else is just going to be noise in my ear, distracting me from getting done what I need to get done. I know what's best. And getting a mentor means pulling down that barrier that you have put up around yourself, letting go of control and realizing that someone else is going to hold you accountable. Without accountability, we all fail. I require accountability.
Oh, me too.
I need you to text me and say, when's the next step? I need someone saying, did you get that on your calendar? I need my admin to tell me and to keep me going. I can't self-govern all the time at 100% capacity. That mentor, I think, is that eye-opening to us, like really realizing that we don't have to have control of it all. You know, I would love to hear just one last thing. Talk with me about results that you have seen. This mentor that you have now, what has that growth looked like from you? Even if it's just mentally, spiritually, financially, give me a little bit of insight as to what that growth has looked like for you.
It's been all encompassing, all growing in every way possible, but it definitely always starts mentally for me because what you were saying about being kind of a control freak, I tend to be that way. On the flip side of feeling like, oh, I can do it better or I can just do everything, I also feel I'm not worthy of getting the help and growing. And maybe I should just stay right here. And that limiting mindset or that comparison or imposter syndrome that creeps right in where it's like, no, you're good, just where you are. And there have been so many instances just in this last couple months that I've noticed a shift in that. She has me doing affirmations every day, saying them out loud and actually recording my voice on my phone and listening to my voice rather than listening to a podcast or whatever it is when I'm on whether I'm on a morning walk or on my way to the gym. I listen to that first, majority of the time. not every day. I try to.
Yeah.
I know that has really shifted my perspective because she literally said to say to yourself, like, Tara, you are, and just say the I am statements. It's not I wish or I will or I hope. I am. And this is what's happening right now. This morning, she said, okay, what are you claiming for July? I said, July is fully booked and I am feeling great. And she said, okay, perfect. Keep saying that to yourself. As of right now, I only have 2 sessions and I like to have 4 each month. I'm not fully booked yet, but I will be.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's what is prominent in my mind right now. Just that shift of knowing you can and relying on that help and accountability, which has been a huge part of all of the mentorships that I've been a part of.
There's something that I say often to myself, and I learned it a long time ago, but I always say, my name is Sarah Beth Herman, and only the best things happen to me. I am here to receive all the goodness that's coming my way. I even put my hands in a posture of receiving. It's not that I believe some magic potion is just going to like laser beam to my hand. Like all of a sudden something's going to happen. But for me, it's like when you say those words out loud, and kooky as I might sound, because many people are rolling their eyes right now. I guarantee it sounds cheesy. As crazy as it is, it's not just saying it and believing it. It's realizing that you believe in yourself enough that you deserve it. You're getting it. It's happening. It's already here. You're just waiting for the moments to tick on the clock until the success is here because you already know it's coming. You trust in yourself. You believe in yourself. It's a boost of confidence. We're doing big things, you know? Tara, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Dentistry Support the Podcast. If you want to know more about Tara, check the show notes. All of the links to connect with her. If you're looking for mentorship, you can connect with her there. If you're looking for branding opportunities, she's like nationwide, right? Don't you go everywhere? Wherever you, if you have an event coming up, we'll be here for you. If you're looking for your TGM or your that good moment, there were so many. And I encourage you to rewind, listen to a couple chapters back. We would love to hear from you. You can text us. The details for that are in the show notes. If you find that we were talking way too fast in this episode and you want to slow it down a little bit, wherever you listen to your podcast, you can change those speed settings down to 0.5 or make us sound a little faster if we're taking too long and that ride for work is coming up to a closure. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Dentistry Support the Podcast. If you want to get in on the conversation or have something to share, join us on our Facebook group, The Dental Collaborative. Looking to connect or to be a guest? Head over to dentistrysupport.com. Or if you'd like to learn more about your host, Sarah Beth, or maybe you're thinking of starting your own podcast or looking for mentorship opportunities, well, just visit sarahbethherman.com. If you've got just a sec, remember to rate, subscribe, and leave a review for the podcast. That helps us keep growing. Thanks for supporting the show, and we hope you'll join us again in the next episode of Dentistry Support the Podcast.